Yo, it's me, it's the SEOTT. And it's finally time for me to review In the Tall Grass, a Stephen King adaptation of his own novella written by himself and his son, so I hear. And it involves a brother and sister who end up encountering this big area of tall grass and go in when they hear a kid screaming and their struggles to get out. So, originally I was going to review this a couple days or so after I reviewed Gerald's Game. I spaced it off. So, here we are. So as I said, the story revolves around these two siblings. And it has a performance from Patrick Wilson, like most of his performances, is great. And he's sort of the antagonist, but not really. He's another victim, but I'll explain. So, Becky and her brother Cal are on the way to San Diego to meet with a family who want to adopt Becky's unborn child. And she has morning sickness, so they have to stop so she can puke, and they hear a kid yelling from the grass. So, as nice people as they are, they go to try to help him. And they find out the kid's name is Tobin, and he's in there, he's looking for his dog. His rest of his family came in after him, we find out. And Cal eventually runs into Tobin, but Becky runs into his father, to Tobin's father, Ross, played by Patrick Wilson. And time is not linear in this tall grass. Because eventually, Becky's ex-boyfriend, Travis, comes looking for her and finds their car, parked where Cal parked it, and he finds his way into the grass while looking for them. And then he runs into Tobin, who knows who he is, has claimed to have met him, and then he says that what's dead is dead. The grass doesn't move anything that's dead. What's dead isn't moved. The grass doesn't move it. So Travis uses this and their dead dog's body to bring everyone together. So Becky, Cal, Tobin, and Travis. Travis tells them they've been gone for 2 months, not 2 days like they thought they had been. And I'm not going to go into too much details. It gets a little gross with the baby and her being force-fed her own child and the grass sort of raping her, and he's saying that he wants to lay naked with her. Ross saying he wants to lay naked with her on the rock. I don't know. But it's all about this rock. And Ross has touched the rock. So now he knows how to get out, but he doesn't want to leave. And that would be kind of tricky. Like, if you touch the rock, you'll be able to find your way out, but you won't ever want to leave. And it seems that it depends on who touches it, who you are when you touch it. Ross is a sleazy real estate agent. It fed on his evil, so it turned him into a psychopath. However, at the climax, Travis touches it. And even though he's had some problems with Becky and he's shown not to be a bad guy, inside he must be a good guy, because he ends up helping Becky and Cal not getting stuck in the loop. And stuck in a loop day in and day out, we're shown that there are several bodies, dead cow bodies, that Ross has kept killing and killing and killing. And we're, infinite loops, and we're shown that Tobin's mom shows up, but Ross squishes her head and they run out. They find their way out because while trying to find a way out earlier in the day, Travis had the smart idea of putting Tobin on his shoulders so Tobin can see, and they see a building in the distance, and they keep walking that way. They end up getting lost, but find it again. And they go in, and this is where there's a confrontation between Travis and Cal. And I don't don't think it's really needed. I know they have problems, but they hash out the problem that, Travis didn't want to have the kid. He was going to abandon Becky, stuff like that. And then Travis throws it back into him that Cal might have an incestuous thing for his sister. I don't know if that was needed. It's very Stephen King, the more you think about it, but I don't think it's needed, to be honest. But then Ross catches up with them. They all go to the roof, and while looking over the roof, they find that the dog is able to jump through a little patch of the grass and come on the other side by the church. And at first I'm like, okay, but are they going to use that? Because it's like they don't really use it, but they don't use that hole, but they use another one. And we'll get to that. But Cal, in his in some kind of trance, drops because they're about to slip, and Cal grabs Travis, but in his trance he drops Travis, supposedly to his death, but he survives. And then Cal, of course, gets killed by Ross for I don't know how many times. And so we get the whole Becky thing with the baby and stuff, and then so it ends up with a big fight at the Rock with Tobin is there, and Travis is there, and Becky's laying there, and Becky has already poked Travis in one of his eyeballs, and to help out, she pokes him in the other eyeball with a necklace, and so he's going blind. And Travis uproots a couple things of the grass and chokes him to death. And it's bad enough, but it shows you, it goes like a 360, showing you around, showing you Tobin's face at what's going on, and it comes back around. To see your dad being choked to death in front of you, no matter how evil he has become or been, influenced by the Rock, it's still your father. So Travis has the idea that in order to be able to save Cal and Becky, he has to touch the Rock so he can find a way out. Now this leads me to a theory. When Becky first meets Tobin, he takes her to the Rock and tells her to touch it. But for the rest of the film, he is very much against it, and even being grabbed by his father and almost being forced to touch it. This might be where he actually touched it and was influenced by it. Another theory I have, that at some point in the loop, Cal touched the Rock. Because the first time we see him, he almost touches it, and then there's a second time that he almost touches it. And when he drops Travis, he's got that kind of trance, like he's being controlled. So I think at one point he does touch it, we just don't see it. So Travis touches it, and he gets like everything in his head, and he says, "Follow me," and he brings Tobin with him, and he takes Tobin and he puts him to the side, and Tobin ends up in the church. A secret room in the church where he goes out, and he yells at Becky to stop, to not go in there. And Becky and Cal, they don't believe him until Tobin shows them the necklace that Travis gave him and says, "Travis gave it to me." She's like, "Travis?" The only problem I have with this ending, it's not even the ending part. They believe him, they get in the car. Then she automatically changes her mind. She's like, "I don't want to go to San Diego. Let's go back. Let's take him to Topeka and to the police station. And I want to keep the baby." This would make sense if she had gotten out with all the lessons she has learned in the grass. Because she went in the grass, and by the time her time was up, she was having a conversation where she wanted to keep the child. That would make sense. But this Becky doesn't know anything that happened in the grass. She doesn't remember. So why would she suddenly change her mind? I don't know. There's also a question of whether or not Travis is actually safe. Theory suggests that no, he's stuck in the loop, but with them not going in the loop, going into the grass, he won't come searching for them. And there should be a Travis still back where they came from. So maybe Travis's loop is broken too. Who knows? And we are also told that there are many, 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 many other people that have been trapped in the grass. They just can't see them because they're not stuck in the same loop as them. But all in all, this movie was pretty good. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It's a little meh, and some of the stuff they do with the baby and stuff like that is a little too much for me. But it's a 7 out of 10. It's a decent Stephen King adaptation. I haven't read the book or anything, but I thought it was pretty good. So what are your thoughts on In the Tall Grass? Leave them in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. I'll see you in the next one.